Welcome everybody. Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own home. Wednesday lunchtime, my name's Dora. You're all very, very welcome. I'm going to begin on the back. If you have a foam block, go and grab yourself one. Otherwise, a blanket is a good alternative. So you could just fold a blanket up. That might be useful to place underneath your head. And we'll come and lie down. Have your props just to the side of the mat so they're available for you. And come into effortless resting pose, just giving yourself a few moments to settle. Knees bent, soles of the feet flat to the floor. Arms down by your sides, just leaving a little bit of space between the upper arm and the rib cage so the ribs are free to breathe. Palms facing up towards the ceiling so the shoulder heads can roll around and down. And travel to the length of your spine, just respecting the natural S shape. And even at this point, if your chin is higher than your forehead, you could place your blanket underneath, just so the forehead, chin, breastbone, navel, pubic bone feel more or less along the same level. Close your eyes if you haven't done so already. And start to release the weight of your bones down into the mat. Maybe feeling the three heaviest parts of your body, the pelvic girdle, the shoulder girdle, and the skull. Take your mind down into your body and begin to sense the breath that's there. Wherever you feel the breath moving. And allow each breath to invite you into present time. So we begin to shift from thinking and doing to sensing and being. Keeping your tailbone dropping down, and without using your arms, can you draw your right knee towards your chest? Try to stabilize a little bit by engaging the lower part of your belly, engaging the core muscles there. Start to rotate the knee in a circular motion. Can be quite small. Maybe getting a little bit bigger. So experiencing the freedom of movement of the leg within the pelvis. Stirring the femur head in the socket and just noticing where it might feel a little sticky or tight or tense, or where it may be gliding really quite lovely. And then reverse this. Notice if you're rocking around a little bit here, so just engage your core to stabilize. So the leg really is moving within the pelvis. And then come to the center, interlace the hands over the front of the knee, flex your right foot and slide your left leg forward, bringing the heel in line with your sit bone. Can you hear? We're just going to play a little bit with the positioning of the pelvis. Roll your pubic bone forward, tailbone to the floor, lower back arches. The knee presses into the hand. And then as you exhale, drop the lower back to the floor. Maybe let the tailbone curl up a little bit if I come towards you. And then find somewhere in the middle. The pelvis is neutral. You can relax the shoulders, the jaw, the face. Can you engage your core muscles once again to stabilize and float your left leg up? Maybe it floats up straight. Maybe you need to bend the knee to stretch it up. Start to rotate that foot in space above you. First in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Flexing the foot and slowly lowering the leg down. Just landing the heel lightly. Can we place the right foot on top of the left thigh so the knee stays pointing towards the sky? The arms are going to open out to the side, so this is where you're going to need your block or your blanket handy in a moment. Start to roll the knee across your body, but keep the right shoulder blade down. So pause before the right shoulder blade comes off the earth. So this is our first stage, just breathing behind the navel. I'm going to let the right knee start to come across even more, or come further across. As the right shoulder blade starts to peel off the floor, you can enjoy that sense of opening to the pectoral muscle, the shoulder joint, until it becomes not very comfortable perhaps. You'll know it when it's time to bring that right arm all the way up and over. Right knee can come to the floor. Grab a hold of your block so you can place it underneath your head to keep the head level of the heart. Scoot the left shoulder and left hip underneath you, and we're going to circle this right arm 3 times. Bringing it up by the crown of the head, inhale and exhale. This can feel quite strong, so you can make this circle a little shallower, a little higher with the arm if you need to. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Let's reverse this, turn the palm up towards the ceiling, back of the hand brushes over the hip, inhaling and exhaling. 2 more times. One more time. And then rolling onto your back. Let the right knee come out towards the shoulder. You can move the block if you feel you don't need it. Left hand slides down the top of your left thigh. Let's flex the feet to protect the knees. And just feeling that length through that left hip flexor. Draw the knee to the center, slide the left heel up the floor, hug the knees towards you. You take a little rock across the sacrum, maybe turn the head to the opposite side of the knees. Come to the center, release your feet to the floor. Center yourself if you've moved off the center of your mat. Engage your core muscles a little as you draw the left knee towards you and start to circle the knee. I'm just relaxing the foot for now. Exploring how the leg moves within the pelvis. How this leg may feel different to the other leg, any tightness, any gripping in the hip flexor, any clunky bits, or where it might feel a little bit stuck or tight, or where it's gliding smoothly. Opposite way. We keep the right leg as still as possible, right inner foot grounding. And draw your knee to the center, interlace the hands over the front of the knee, flex the foot, slide the right leg forward, just landing on the heel. And floating the right leg up, using your core as you inhale. You could have bent the knee to stretch the leg up and start to circle, releasing in the ankle joint, circling that foot in the space above you. Just in one direction and then in the other direction. Flexing the foot and slowly lowering the leg down. Stabilize through your core as the heel lands slightly, lightly. Take the left foot onto the top of the right thigh. Open your arms out to the sides. Move your block to the other side. Start to bring the left knee across your body, keeping the left shoulder blade down. So pause before that shoulder blade starts to peel off and soften the shoulder down. Breathe behind the navel. The right leg is extending. Enjoy this first stage for a moment. And keep going with the left knee. Experiencing the left shoulder blade starting to peel off. You might feel that nice stretch in the pectoral muscle, shoulder joint. And then when it feels too much, you can take that arm all the way up and over. Left knee comes to the floor. Place your block underneath your head so your head is lifted a little bit, palm on palm. Scoot your right shoulder and right hip underneath you. And then begin to circle your left arm, inhaling, exhaling. One full round of breath for each rotation. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Palm on palm, reverse this, turn the palm up, back of the hand across the hip. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. You might be slower or quicker than I'm guiding. And then rolling yourself onto your back. Move the block out of the way if you need to. Take the knee out towards the armpit. Flex the feet. Right hand slides down the front of the right thigh, lengthening through the hip flexor there. Take the knee to the center. Slide the right heel up so both knees come to the chest. Take a little rock across your sacrum and turning in opposition to the knees. And then place the feet to the floor if you need to center yourself on the mat once again. Draw both knees towards the chest and stretch the legs up. Plug your tailbone down, flex your feet. If you need a little bit more support, you can turn the palms down on the earth here. So your hands act like stabilizers, like the stabilizers on the child's bike. And as you exhale, start to slowly lower your right leg down. You don't have to go far. You can stop about 45 degrees. You could let the heel just float off the floor. Keep the heel in line with the sit bones. It's not all the way to the earth. And as you inhale, the leg rises. Stabilize through your core. Exhale, left leg lowers. Inhale, leg rises. This time as you lower the right leg, can you keep your left leg super still? Bring your right heel down, so you're paying attention to the stable leg. Inhale, right leg rises. Pay attention to the right leg as the left leg lowers. To the non-doing leg. And then the leg lifts up. Wonderful. Raise the arms vertically. And then lift your head and shoulders as if you're reaching towards the toes. Can you lower your right leg down here? About a 45 degree this time. A couple of breaths. And then as you raise the right leg up, release the head and shoulders to the floor. And the other side, as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders up as if you're reaching towards the toes. Lower your left leg down, maybe about a 45 degree angle. Raising the leg up, releasing the head and shoulders to the floor and hugging the knees towards you. So either hands behind the backs of the knees, rocking yourself up to seated. Or if this doesn't feel good, you can roll yourself over to one side to come up here. Let's swing the shins around and come onto the hands and the knees. Spread the palms, really plant them down into the mat. Make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Bring your knees together so the back is flat. And with the knees to the floor, pick up your right toes Point the foot but flex the toes back here. Press the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, knee to knee. And then you're going to fly the right knee out to the side a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. So pressing the ball of the foot up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, fly it out to the side a little bit. It doesn't have to be high. Exhale. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale, right knee out to the side, and then step the foot outside of the hand so it's on the floor. You've got your fingertips and your toes in line, foot is parallel. Come up onto the tips of the fingers so you've got a bit more height. And then slowly start to circle your left arm back. Inhale, landing the fingertips, exhale. So you lift your tailbone, hinge back a little bit, keep the right toes grounded. Maybe the palms plant down, maybe the elbows soften. You might feel a little bit of cramp in that right foot. You're exercising the arch, the medial arch, even the metatarsals, the transverse arch, as you keep the right big toe joint grounded. Where are your hips? Do you need to swing them back into the center a little bit? Or not? And as you come back up, we're going to circle that right leg around. Bring the toes in line with the sit bone. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Press the earth away. Slide your left foot back into a high plank. Lift the inner thighs, base of your skull, soften your elbows. Lower your knees to the floor, keep your toes tucked, come and sit down onto the heels. Exhale, inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Exhale into your first down dog. Make this nice and soft and easy. You can make some movement here, bending one knee and then the other. You can roll the hips, you could turn the head, whatever feels good to ease yourself into this pose, or just be still. Lovely, and then lower your knees back down onto the earth. Bring the knees together, flatten the feet, make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders. And pick up your left toes so the knee stays down. Find that half pointed, half flexed foot. So you point the toes and then flex them back. Point the foot and flex the toes back. Press the ball of the foot up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, fly the knee out to the side. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Take the knee out to the side. Step the foot off the mat. So toes and fingers are aligned. And start to come up onto the tips of your fingers. You're going to circle the right arm back slowly. Take an inhale. Exhale, land the fingertips. Lift the tailbone, taking your hips back. Keep the toes long. Maybe soften the palms, soften the elbows as you bow. Now for a breath here. Feel where your hips are. If you need to swing them back into the center a little bit, or you just want to move the hips to change the sensation. Make your way back up a little bit. So you can slide these left toes around, bring the toes in line with the sit bone. Press the earth away as you slide your right leg back. High plank position, press the heels away. Lower your knees, come and sit down onto your heels as you exhale. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Exhale, float yourself up and back into your down facing dog. Couple of breaths here as you press the tops of your thighs back. Tilt the pelvis, lifting the tailbone so the lower part of your back is releasing. Tailbone through to the crown of your head. Maybe lift both heels as you inhale. Sink both heels as you exhale. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Soften the knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. So you're going to be hanging at the back of your mat. Let the fingertips rest on the floor. Soften around the base of your skull. Maybe shift the weight from foot to foot. As you pull the weight into each side of your body, squish and soften the soles of your feet into the earth. As you take a hold of the elbow points, notice if the weight shifts either forwards or backwards a little bit to keep you balanced. And let the abdominal organs hug the spine, hug back to support the spine. Release the fingertips to the floor and walk yourself back into your downward facing dog. Melt the shoulders up the back, turn the tricep muscles towards one another. Step the feet together so the big toe joints are touching, the heels may be slightly apart. Glue the knees as you pick up your right toes. Keep the tailbone lifted. You can hold the shape of your down dog. Just as we did on the knees earlier, press the ball of the foot up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, float the right knee out to the side. Doesn't have to be high. Exhale. Could be a really small movement this. Inhale, exhale. Keep the shoulder girdle stable and still. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, take the knee out to the side. Step the foot outside of the right hand, but move the hand in so the foot can be on the mat. Come onto the tips of the fingers, extend the crown of the head forward. Push down through the feet and slowly circle the left arm. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Soften your back knee in, and however many steps it takes, might just be 1, 2 or 3, step the foot outside of the left hand. So your feet are going to be mat width, but on the mat. So the little toes of the feet are just running along the outside of the mat. Let yourself hang here, maybe even snuggle your belly inside your thighs. There's a softness to the knees, if not a bend. And then bending your knees as if you were to sit down on a little chair. Come into a flat back as best you can feel that, and open the arms out to the sides. Space there. So I'll show you this way. If you look down, can you wiggle your thumbs and still see them in your peripheral vision? If not, bring the hands a little bit further forward. And then press down to come all the way up. Turn your armpits, inner elbows, palms towards the sky. And reach your arms up here. Just going to move this so you can see my whole body. Okay. So we're going to fly forward again with a flat back. Feet are still mat width. And release the fingertips to the floor. Let the head go. Plant the palms down. You can either step back 1 foot at a time along the outer edge of your mat back into a wide-legged down dog, or you can hop the feet back 1, 2, 3. And then lift the hips. And sway the hips from side to side so you get a nice diagonal stretch from one shoulder blade to the opposite side of the hip. Come back through to the center, step the feet together, big toe joints to touch. Lower your knees for a moment, flatten the feet. Sit down into a modified child's pose. Just let your body drape over your legs. Draw the arm bones back into the socket. Curl the outer edges of your shoulder blades around to hug the outer body. Coming up onto hands and knees as you inhale. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Roll the pubic bone through the thighs. Pick up the left toes. Press the ball of the foot up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, knee to knee. Inhale, float it out to the side. Exhale. Small movement if you need to. Notice what's happening in your shoulders and your arms as you do this, if you're compensating. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, float the knee out to the side. Step the foot outside of the left hand. Move the hand in to accommodate. Come onto the tips of the fingers to lift the chest. So the foot is wide. Sweep the right arm back. Land the fingertips on the floor. Soften your back knee, and however many hops it might take with the back foot, or just one to step the foot outside the hand. Letting yourself hang here. Maybe shift the weight from foot to foot, pouring the weight into each leg, each side of the body. And slowly coming up to standing. Let's turn the armpits, the inner elbows, the palms. Reach the arms up by your ears and wiggle the feet hip distance apart. Float the arms down. So we're going to raise the arms forward and up. Think of lifting the arms from breathing up the back of the body. So breathe up the back of the waist, back of the rib cage. To lift the arms. So you're not just kind of popping the arms up independently of the spine. Fly forward, touch the earth as you exhale, let the head go. Inhale, step back with your left toes into your lunge, shift the weight into the bowl of the pelvis. Make sure the fingertips are underneath the shoulders. We're going to circle the arm again. This time it's going to be your right arm. Inhale and exhale 2 more times. You could look down as you circle the arm, or you could follow the fingers with your gaze. Just one full round of breath in each rotation, and then land the fingertips inside of the right foot. Bring your back heel in and down. I want you to use your legs here to help lift you up. So press into the front heel to activate the hamstring and the glute. Use your legs as your body comes up. Just let your arms drape. And then take your hands onto your hips. Do a little wiggle with your hips here so you can feel the range of movement that you have here. Notice how that right knee moves as you rotate the femur head in the socket. So you want that right knee to stay tracking over the middle 2 toes. So when your hip comes into that alignment, let the left hip rotate forward a little bit. Start to suck the right thigh bone back into the socket as you lean the right side of the body over the thighs. It's a Trikonasana. Slide the right hand down just underneath the knee. Maybe the left arm floats up. The shoulder blades down the back as you expand out in all directions. You're a little bit too long on that slipping, so I'm going to wiggle that foot in a little bit. Reach out from the crown of the head to the tailbone, fingertips to fingertips. As you push down through both legs, float the right arm up by your ear, turn the right toes in. Left hand is going to come onto the sacrum. Hips square as you turn your body towards the left. Reach out as you come across. Keep the thumb lifted, soften the knees. You're coming towards a flat back here. Notice how the weight wants to sit into the heels here. And then keep going, keep going, keep going. Landing the right fingertips on the floor. Lengthen the crown of the head. Start to open up the chest in that same direction towards the left. Breathing. Opening up that left collarbone. Again, if there's tension in the neck, you can look down towards the earth. Let's float both sets of fingertips to the floor now. Walk your hands to the center of the pose. Your shoulders are square to the long edge of the mat. And let yourself hang here. You can bend the knees if you need to. Take the weight into the outer edges of the feet that keep the big toe joints grounded. Maybe gently move your head from side to side. Turning your head, releasing the neck. And walking yourself around towards the right foot. Back into a lunge. Same arm, you're going to circle the right arm back, just to raise it vertically this time. Lift down to the shoulder that's on the floor. As you exhale, land the back knee, reach the right arm back, look towards the thumb. Exhale. As you inhale, lift the back knee, maybe the right arm comes over by the cheek. 2 more times. Exhaling. Left hand can be flat, or you can be on the tips of your fingers. Inhaling, reaching up and over. 1 more time. Exhaling. Inhaling, circle the hand to the floor. Step the right foot back into a high plank. Lower your knees. Come and sit down onto the heels as you exhale. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Soften the elbows. Hands a bit wider than the shoulders, feet are hip distance apart. And then walk your toes forward towards the backs of your wrists. Bend the knees whenever you need to. Onto the fingertips. And come all the way up to standing as you inhale. Exhale, float the arms down in front of you. So breathing up the back of the body, back of the waist, back of the rib cage to lift the arms. So it almost feels like there's a little bit of resistance here, keeping your shoulders down, just reminding ourselves that the arms connect to the spine. And as you exhale, you're going to fly forward and touch the earth. Soften the knees. Step back with your right toes into your lunge. Come onto the tips of your fingers. Circle the left arm back. Inhale. Exhale. You can stay looking down, which is rather a nice counter twist. Or you can follow the fingers with your gaze. So land the left fingertips inside of the foot. Bring your back heel in and down. Use your legs to lift you more than your back muscles here. So push into the front foot as the body gently lifts up. If you feel a little bit too long, you can wiggle that back foot in. Hands come onto the hips. And there's just a little experiment here with the range of motion, movement that you have in each hip joint. Noticing how that knee moves out of alignment and back into alignment according to the positioning of your hip bones. So when you find that position where your knee comes into alignment and your right hip comes forward a little bit, suck the left thigh bone into the body, right side of the waist lays over the thigh. And then your left side of the waist, left hand can lie underneath the knee, raising up your arm here for your Trikonasana. And it's not that we come into a rigid pose and then we find it and that's where we stay. We allow this pose to gently reveal itself. And there may be some little micro movements that help you to keep finding that length, finding that space, finding that comfortable seat. The translation of asana. Couple more breaths. As you press down through the feet, make your way up. Left arm comes up by the ear. Left toes turn in. Right hand comes onto the sacrum. Hips stay square as you twist your upper body towards the right. And reach out here on a diagonal. Keeping the thumb lifted, keeping the knees soft. Keep going, keep going, keep going, landing the left fingertips to the floor. Lift down to that left shoulder. Continue to twist the only way your body really naturally wants to. You can look down, you can look up. Keep finding that length. And then release the fingertips to the floor. Walk yourself to the center. Let the crown of the head release down. You gently turn your head from side to side. Walking over towards the left foot, so creep yourself around into a lunge. Circle that left arm back so it rises vertically. As you lower the back knee down, reach back, look towards the left thumb, the exhale. So you inhale, lift the back knee, arm comes up and over by the cheek. 2 more times, exhaling. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, circle the hand to the floor, step back into a high plank, lower your knees, come and sit down onto the heels as you exhale. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Before walking your feet forward towards the backs of the wrists. And coming slowly up to standing. Take the arms out to the sides and up. And then step the feet together and draw your thumbs down towards your heart. As you press the palms together, let the elbows lift a little bit. Pick up your left heel and turn it inwards. That's it. Now this might be your tree pose today, the ball of the foot on the floor. You might wrap the foot around the ankle. Or you could slide the foot a little bit higher, just underneath the knee. If you want to take it higher still, you might need to take a hold to place it up onto the top of the thigh. Now your knee is going to be pointing slightly forward on an angle. To have the knee directly out to the side would probably mean you swinging your hips around. Most of us don't have that external rotation available for the knee to be 90 degrees out to the side. Press the palms together and take your gaze just straight ahead of you. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. I'm going to float the foot off the thigh, bring the knee forward, and then take the fingertips to the floor, come back into a lunge position. Circle the right arm back, inhale. Exhale, take the fingertips inside of the foot. Back heel comes in and down. Press down to the feet as you let your chest lift up. Let the arms straight, so the arms are moving out from the hips, about a 90-degree angle. And in fact, we're going to float the arms forward. Hips stay where they are, so without moving this back hip, just turn your shoulders towards the center of the room and float your arms up. So it's a warrior two. Melt the shoulders. Great. As you wrap the left hip forward, suck the right thigh bone into the socket. Maybe you reach out a little bit. So it's a bit like a trikonasana. You don't have to go far here. You engage your core by wrapping and zipping. As you come back up, you're going to re-bend your right knee. Let the arms straight down as you turn your toes in. And then as you spin both heels in, a little bit too wide, just wiggle the feet in, bend the knees, float the arms out to the sides. So wide-legged squat here. Lift the inner ankle bones, keep the pelvic floor lifted. Take the hands onto the thighs, maybe angle your body a little bit further forward. Take the fingertips to the floor, keep the knees pressing away, and then spin the heels out and let yourself hang and fold. Walk yourself back around towards the right foot. Circle your right arm back, let it rise vertically, and land your back knee. This time as you reach back with the hand, maybe the foot comes off the floor. If you can catch the outer edge of the foot or even the inner edge of the foot, just take a twist here. Even if you can't catch, maybe you're just reaching, maybe the toes stay on the floor. If you need extra padding for your knee, maybe your blanket, lift out of the shoulder. Release the ball of the foot to the floor. Take your arm up and over. You use the hands here so that you can almost float this right foot back into your downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths here, taking the weight out of the shoulders, up into the hips, down the legs. Lower your knees to the floor, flatten the feet, big toes to touch. Come and sit down into a child's pose. Rest your forehead on the backs of your hands or any other positioning of your arms that allows your shoulders to release. And when you're ready, stretch your arms out in front of you. Come up onto hands and knees, tuck your toes, down the facing dog. Walk your feet forward towards the backs of your wrists. Coming all the way up to standing as you inhale. And exhale, allow your arms to drift down in front of you. Step the feet together. Lift your right heel, spin the heel in, so you pivot on the ball of the foot. So this may be your tree pose, ball of the foot on the earth. Lift up out of the hips with the waist, palms together. Gently wrap the shoulder blades towards the back of the rib cage. Maybe the foot comes off. Just kind of hug the ankle with the foot, heel a little bit further forward. Or slide the foot up and wrap it around the calf. If you wanted to go further, you might need to take a hold of the ankle to place the foot up onto the top of the thigh. Engage the inner thigh against the foot to help you stay here. Knee pointing slightly out on an angle. My foot doesn't want to stay there today. So try to avoid placing the foot on the knee. I know it's a convenient shelf. And the knee is, don't really want to put any compression on your knee. Lift your gaze. Just going to turn to the side. And step back. Or take the knee out first, take it back to the front, and then step back. Can be a couple of steps. Just take the fingertips to the floor and arrive in your lunge. Be light on the fingertips so you've got some height. Circle the left arm back as you inhale. Exhale, land the inside of the foot. Bring your back heel in and down. Push into the front foot. And let your body come up. Just let the arms straight. So feel the positioning of your hips. If you reach your fingertips out, be on about a 45-degree angle. The hips are going to stay this way, so this knee is comfortable. It's just the shoulders that are going to veer to the center. Raising the arms up by your ears. Melt the shoulders. And then as you find that rotation of the hips, suck the left thigh bone back into the socket. Maybe the chest reaches out a little bit. It's a variation of Trikonasana. You don't need to go that far over with your body. Keep finding the length through both sides of your waist. And then coming up, turning your toes forward, releasing the arms down. This time we're going to spin the heels in and just let the arms straight. Try to broaden the sit bones. Feel a breath across the lower back. Lift the inner ankle bones. Continue to go forward. Fingertips to the floor. Spin the heels out. Let the head release. Soften the knees. Walk yourself around towards your left foot. Circle the left arm back and up, lower your back knee. Take the hips forward. Maybe you're picking up the back foot, taking a hold, opening up through the shoulders, create a little twist. Don't worry if you can't reach today or the toes have to come to the floor. Have some padding for your knee. Take the toes to the floor, arm comes up and over. Use the hands here so you can glide that foot back. Float it back almost into your down dog. Couple of breaths here. And lower your knees to the floor, flatten the feet, come into a child's pose of your choice. So bring your fingertips by your cheeks and use your arms, your fingers to help you upright here rather than your back muscles. So push down into the earth, lift the back of the heart, keep the head low for a moment and walk the hands back towards you. Bring the knees together, sink the hips to one side and stretch your legs out in front of you. Draw your right knee towards you and bring the heel quite close towards the sit bone and the toes are facing outwards, turning outwards a little bit. And you can take your left leg out. Now, if you've taken the legs quite wide and you feel that your tailbone is tucking under here, just bring the thighs a little bit narrow, a little bit closer towards one another. Twist towards the bent knee, the right knee, and take the left hand onto the ankle, maybe the right hand onto the inner thigh. And it's the left side of the body that's laying over the left leg. As you lean away a little bit, you can let that knee drop out. Keep the foot flexed. And there's just a sense of reaching outwards through the crown of the head. You make your way back here. Just bring the foot and the inner thigh towards one another. You've got about a hand's distance between your inner foot and your thigh here. Right upper arm comes inside, left thumb behind you. A little open twist. Float yourself out of this. Stretch your right leg forward. Bring your left knee towards you and take the knee open, toes open, heel quite close towards the sit bone. Right leg comes out to the side, try to stay towards the fronts of your sit bones. Right hand onto the front of the ankle, left hand onto the inner thigh as you twist around, as if the right side of the body was laying over the thigh. Let that knee drop out, if it wants to. Keep the foot of the leg that you can't see engaged. Make your way out of this. Just hug the knee back through to the center. Bring the foot and the inner thigh a little closer. You've got about hand's distance, a hand span between your inner foot and your inner thigh. Right thumb behind you, left upper arm inside the knee. Squeeze the knee towards the arm. And let yourself float around. Lovely. Stretching the leg forward. Just walk from sit bone to sit bone. Heels in line with your sit bones and coming forward into your Paschimottanasana. So you might just be hinging forward here with a flat back. You could take the hands a little wider. You could release the hands onto the shins, ankles or feet. If you want to fold further forward, just be where it is comfortable enough for you to be still without fidgeting for a few breaths. Walking your hands back up your shins. Put the hands to the floor, move your sit bones towards your heels. Curl your tailbone underneath you a little bit as you release yourself down onto the earth. Draw the knees towards the chest. A little rock across the sacrum, turning your head to the opposite side of the knees. Releasing the neck muscles. And open the arms out to the sides and just allow your knees to rock over to the left. It's fine if the knees are not stacking. I just want this to be a nice neutralizing twist. Even if there's a gap between your knees, if you prefer to place a pillow or a blanket or a block in between your legs to give you a little bit of support. Spread the shoulder blades and then just soften everything down here, relaxing the toes, feet, ankles, shins, knees, thighs. Come out of this, take a hold of any prop that may be between your legs, raising up the right knee first and then the left knee. So you can roll over without straining the back. Come over to the other side. Couple of breaths here. Raising your left knee and your right knee. Hug the knees towards you. Prepare for Shavasana, which could be here with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Until you're warm and undisturbed. You might want to stretch your legs forward, bring them over a bolster if you have any discomfort in your lower back. Hands can rest on your lower belly if you just want that sense of safety and grounding element, or arms down by your sides. And take a few deep breaths as you settle. Just making the decision to let go of any attachment to your practice, anything that you've just done, any thoughts and feelings around your practice. Making the decision to just to be here fully for the last few minutes of your practice. Beginning your return to your body and your breath. Noticing the weight and contact of your body on the earth. And the space that you occupy in the room. Perhaps taking a few fuller inhalations as you make your way back into your day. And if the legs are straight, you can slide the feet back to the floor so the knees are bent, just allowing the lower back to soften into the earth for a few moments. When you're ready, roll yourself over to the right side. Make a pillow for your head with your right upper arm so the head is level with the heart. Left hand can come onto the floor. And use your left hand to gently make your way back to any comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. And bring your hands to your heart and breath. This is Anjali Mudra, Seal of Honoring. Honoring the divine that resides within yourself and all your fellow beings. And with an open heart and a quiet mind, gently open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your day. See you next